Hello and welcome to Forever Motorsports. This year there has been quite a lot of focus not only on the Drivers' Championship but also on the Constructors' Championship. But one championship that we always tend to keep our eye on is the Formula 1 Destructors Championship. And today I'm going to be taking you through the drivers that have cost their team the most in crashes this year, as well as which team has cost themselves the most in crashes. So before we get started, do be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Formula 1 content. And without further ado, we will get started. But to go over the pricing, the front wing of a Formula 1 car is estimated to cost at $125,000. Brake drum deflectors, $10,000, and monocoque, which is normally having to be replaced after a massive crash, costs about $675,000. The front suspension is $125,000. A wheel is $5,000. Side pods cost $95,000. The rear suspension will set you back $100,000. A rear wing, $92,000. Additional chassis, $275,000. Floor or diffuser, $225,000. Gearbox is $500,000. Electronics, $50,000. And brakes, $25,000. This doesn't go over the cost of an engine, which is essentially thought to be around $2 to $5 million. So if you total an engine in a crash in a race in Formula 1, I don't think you're going to be in the best of books for your Formula 1 team there. But just going over our previous driver champions in the Destructors World Championship, Alex Albon won that in 2019, not necessarily a prize you do want to win, but he headed up that championship in 2019, totaling $5.4 million in crash costs for himself. In 2020, it was Romain Grosjean with $3.089 million, Mick Schumacher in 2021 and 2022 with $4.9 million in 21 and $3.9 million in 2022. And then to go over the previous Constructors Champions, that is Red Bull in 2019 with $6.685 million, 2020 with Haas with $5.042 million, 2021 with Haas as well with $7.7 million, and Williams in 2022 with $4.7 million racked up in that season. So you can see my big graphic that I've got up here for you today, so we can look up so far what drivers have racked up the biggest costs for this year. So far, leading the championship is none other than Logan Sargent. I don't think that's a big shock for anyone really, racking up $3.9 million in crashes this year so far. The USA was one where he crashed out, costing his team $125,000. Then again in Spain with $360,000. Belgium with a massive crash, $485,000. And Netherlands also a very expensive weekend for his team with $1.4 million in repairs needed to his car. Singapore Grand Prix was a little bit less expensive at $350,000. Japan, another big shunt that he had there in qualifying, worth $1.1 million in repairs for himself. Looking at the Brazil Grand Prix, he actually had a relatively clean weekend, not needing any fixes from that weekend. Then second place is Sergio Perez, who has had a rather dismal season so far. He's racked up $3.099 million worth of crashes. Lance Stroll then down in third. Then Esteban Ocon in fourth with $2.7 million worth of damage. Alex Albon in fifth with $2.6 million worth of damage. He had a bad weekend out this weekend, quite unfortunate, having to take a new front wing, new brake drum deflector, new front suspension, new wheels, new side pod, new rear suspension, new rear wing, and a new floor or diffuser, as well as new brakes, due to that crash that he sustained on the first lap of the Brazil Grand Prix. That racked up to a total of $832,000 worth of damages from that race. A lot of damage caused from that first lap incident, of course, between himself and those two Haas drivers. Then to make our way down the rest of this order, after Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen sits in sixth with $2.5 million worth of damage. Pierre Gasly in seventh with $2.2 million worth of damage. Oscar Piastri down in eighth with $2 million worth of damage. Charles Leclerc ninth with $1.9 million in damage. Also a little bit more damage caused to his car this weekend after he was sent careering into the barriers on that formation lap of the Brazil Grand Prix on Sunday due to him having a hydraulic failure, unfortunately. Then behind him is his teammates in 10th with $1.5 million in damage. Nick de Vries and Daniel Ricciardo rack up $1.5 million in damage together. 12th place is Nico Hülkenberg with $1.36 million worth of damage. Yuki Tsunoda with 1.2, down in 13. Guan Yu Zhou in 14th with also $1.2 million worth of damage. Lewis Hamilton in 15th with $755,000 worth of damage on his car throughout the season so far. Fernando Alonso in 16th with $705,000 worth of damage. George Russell in 17th with $670,000. Lando Norris in 18th with $620,000 in damage. Valtteri Bottas in 19th with $575,000 in damage. And Max Verstappen, our drivers' champion, so far only racking up $220,000 of damage in this current season. Our grand total, though, for this entire season is a whopping $34.5 million worth of damage throughout all of those races. Looking at the most expensive weekend in terms of crashes, I think that has been, I was going to say Brazil, but it's not. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. That racked up a whopping $5.4 million worth of damage in that Grand Prix race weekend between multiple teams there racking up new parts. Because of crashes, of course, Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri crashed out in that weekend. Looking at our World Destructors Drivers Championship this year, how it started and who essentially has put themselves in those orders. At the moment, Logan Sargent's really taken the lead in that championship. Not really challenged for second place by Sergio Perez. It's quite a big gap between those two drivers in terms of their total sum racked up throughout the season. Logan Sargent in first, Sergio Perez second, Lance Stroll, then Esteban Ocon, Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Nick de Vries, Nico Hülkenberg, and then Yuki Tsunoda. Currently in that Destructors Championship right now. And then looking at the Constructors Destructors Championship, Williams lead that at the moment quite reasonably with $6.5 million worth of damage. Alpine are in second with $5 million worth of damage. Then it is Haas in third place with around $4 million worth of damage. A bit of an interesting one this year, but we do think that Logan Sargent should be able to take that championship quite easily. Not one that he really wants to take at the end of the season, but one that he is leading quite comfortably at the moment. Do be sure to let us know in the comment section if you have any other drivers that you think should be a little bit higher up in the Destructors Championship at the end of this year. I don't think anyone else should be able to really challenge Logan Sargent. He's really quite dominant in that Destructors Championship. Not something that he wants, but something that he certainly does have at the moment. Thank you very much for watching me here on Forever Motorsport. Do be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Formula 1 content, and we will be sure to catch you in all of our other content throughout the week. Thank you very much. I've been Reece on Forever Motorsports. Cheers.